All right, be right back, guys. Let me share this link. Okay, guys, we are live. Um, while we're just sitting here waiting on everybody to show up, hello, Latera. I'm gonna start talking just so that people who watch this later, I'm not just sitting here and they're looking at a blank screen. Hi, James. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Allison. Sunshine. What I wanted to say was, I've noticed a lot of people now are kind of falling prey to what people are calling doom scrolling. It's, whenever, since a lot of people aren't being able to go to work, aren't being able to, go out and do anything social, they're spending, more and more time on social media. And, if you spend very much time at all looking at social media, you see that it is like one symptoms just because they're so stressed out by this constant barrage of negativity that social media is kind of pouring into our lives. Uh, One thing I noticed, I just want to say that we are not supposed to live in fear. And you could go a bunch of different routes when explaining why. For example, in the Bible, uh, it says repeatedly, don't feel fear, don't give in to fear. Or that's what it says, don't give in to fear. Everyone will feel fear. It's natural to feel fear. But it says not to give in to fear. It even says things like, the way they describe it is because, to use Christian terminology, they say that God is with you. For example, when we're talking about, it says at one point, even in the midst of your enemies, I will prepare a table for you. It doesn't say that we won't face scary things. It doesn't say we won't face hard times. It doesn't say we won't have enemies. What it says is you will still walk right through the fucking middle of them and there will be not one thing they can do to touch you. That's why we don't fear. Like the ancient Sumerians used to say, they would say, what they're talking about in Christianity when they're talking about God walking with you like that, this is just a different language for something they described in ancient Sumer, where they were saying that you accumulate this energy called melam or melamu around you, and that this melam or melamu made you invincible. This was what made men kings back then. It's what the Bible calls the mighty men of old. They were people who had accumulated tremendous amounts of this energy around them. And what happens when you accumulate this energy is, even if you're not doing it for a specific purpose, for example, let's say you do the lesser invoking ritual, the pentagram, every day, and you're not doing it for a purpose, you're not like sending it out to manifest or anything. You just do the ritual and close the sphere above and below you, and then open your eyes and go about your business. What happens is that energy, since you don't send it anywhere to manifest anything, it stays with you throughout the day. If you do that every day, day after day after day, you're accumulating more and more and more of that energy. And what that energy does, the way it looks to people in the world, is it makes everything go in your favor a little more. Without even really trying, everything just sort of works out. It doesn't mean you won't have hard times. It doesn't mean you won't have difficulties. It means that you're going to have this energy working on your behalf. The Bible describes it as, it says, I will go before you and make the crooked places straight. That's what this melam does, this melamu that we accumulate around ourselves by doing these rituals. It goes before us and makes the crooked places straight. What it does is adds its power, its energy to whatever you are putting your energy into, whatever you're trying to accomplish. And this is also like what Crowley was talking about when he said, when you line your will with the universal will, you will have the momentum of the entire universe at your back pushing you forward. that's exactly what you're doing with all of these rituals. But one of the things I realized, in addition to the fear thing, is don't fall into the trick of believing that fear is a virtue. We live in a society that wants us to believe fear makes us virtuous. That the more scared you are of things, whatever it is, the more concerned you are, the better a person you are. It's all just ego tricks, ego games. Fear doesn't make, and by those standards, what happens next is those people that keep building and building and building the fear, what they're looking at is they're becoming more and more, what's the word, like conscientious, or virtuous. Yes, fear is the opposite of faith. Exactly. People think that disbelief is the opposite of faith, and it's not. When you have faith in something, as the Bible describes it, what you're doing is feeding energy into, yes, you do then become controlled by fear. That's exactly right. When you have faith in something, it means you are feeding energy into what you want to happen, what you want to take shape, what you want to manifest. When you fear something, you're putting energy into what you don't want. But one of the things I was noticed is lately is just that somehow, some way, society has started to turn fear into virtuosity. There's nothing virtuous about fear. Just because you get more and more scared, it doesn't really mean you're more and more concerned. You can be concerned without being scared. You can do anything without giving into fear. And by giving into fear, I mean doing it because of fear. Whatever you do in the world, whatever it is, you don't have to be scared while you're doing it. Even like, say, things like taking precautions against, the virus. You don't have to act out of fear doing that. I mean, you can still do what you need to do to take care of yourself and your family and everything else without giving into fear. There's nothing, holy or sacred or anything else about that. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite of all those things. So, one of the things I thought I would do today is show you how you can use what we've been doing in the last few sessions. How we were working on inhaling into our Tippereth center and letting the energy flow out through our auras. Yes, some people use God-fearing as praise of a person. Like I said, this whole fear thing, this is nothing new. What it is now, all it is they try to shift the fear. It's like what they want you to be fearful of, they constantly move it, change it. But it's all about, making you submit in one way or another. That's what, like in the old days when they wanted you to fear the gods, if you fear them, then you're submissive to them. And that's pretty much humans. A lot of humans have like a natural. You know what? It doesn't even matter. I'm going to look at what you guys are saying for a second. Yes, Paulina, that is a really good way to put it. Paulina says, fear seems to be a tool to imply a situation has gravity. It's possible to hold the weight of a situation without decorating it with fear or passion. That is a perfect way of articulating exactly what I was trying to describe. Let me see. Okay, so whenever I put out the post this morning that we were going to do this today, I said to have something with you that you wanted to charge, that you wanted to put energy into. So I'm kind of curious, just if you guys don't mind in the comments, just knowing what you guys brought. If there's, anything outside the ordinary. I am going to use this for demonstration purposes. This is, and this reminded me of something right before we started that I was going to say. If you're really into like crystals and stones and things like that, I used to be. I used to love these things. Wow. Lemurian quartz, a bone, a ring, quartz, a lot of quartz. Joe has one of my love talismans. Excellent. Sunshine is a necklace. Oh, Toxic Twinkie says my glasses. You know what? Every single day when I get ready to start my morning ritual, the first thing I do, like I will put things that I'm working with that I'm charging on my shrine, on my altar, and then I'll go through my rituals every now and I will direct all of that energy down onto the items on my altar and just cram that energy in there to hold for later. I always take my glasses off and put them on the altar. Every single day, I take my glasses off and put them on the altar so that they absorb the energy of it. So that is a really good thing. Oh, a paintbrush. That's a good one. Brandy Ray, a painting. That is excellent. That's what Botticelli used to do. Botticelli used to charge his paintings, especially like, some of the most well-known ones like Venus. He charged Venus with Venus energy. Let me see, a doll, that is a really good one. Tibetan prayer bead bracelets. Yes, A says maybe I could charge my perfume or a water bottle. Perfume is a really, really great thing because you're basically doing the same thing you're doing with abramelin oil, letting it accumulate energy over time. You know, like when you're using abramelin oil, a lot of times you anoint yourself with it. You know, like you anoint the top of your head, you anoint your beard and the palm of your left hand with the oil. The reason for the palm of your left hand, and this is what we're going to get into a little bit with, just little random things about using your hands to charge things, which is what we're going to do today, is traditionally your right hand is your projecting hand, which means traditionally that is the hand you would use to send energy out, and your left hand is what they would call your receptive hand, which means it's the hand you use to take energy in. Actually, you can use either one of them to do either of those things. And that's part of what we're going to do today. That's just like traditional lore, traditional stories that are passed down. But you'll see, and it's really important to become proficient at using both of them for both things. Sewing machine, that would be really good. Someone says, what if I am left-handed? You know what? That's actually, I believe, when I was young, I was supposed to be left-handed. I was left-handed. And I had a teacher who was determined that she was going to make me right-handed. She forced me to do everything with my right hand. And this was when I was really young, like in second grade. She made me do things, like she would not even let me write with my left hand. She made me write with my right hand. It was really, really hard, really, really confusing. But what it did was made me so that I could do it with either hand. Once again, it doesn't matter. Yes, it can be hard on the brain. I actually think it was a kind of abuse. She did not like boys at all, and she used to abuse some of the boys in the class. Just looking at what you guys are saying, that's it. Oh, so what I was going to say about this, what this is, this looks like quartz crystal. If you just saw this, you would think it looks like a quartz crystal that may be a little bit cloudier than usual. Like you see some what they call, I believe they're called occlusions. I might be wrong. Oops, I cannot remember. But there's a little bit of cloudiness inside of it. It's double terminated. The reason that it looks like it's a little bit cloudy is because it's not actually quartz. This is citrine. And what I was thinking about whenever I saw this is just telling you guys something so you don't get ripped off. A lot of people online right now, are selling what they're calling, like if you go to eBay or a lot of online sites that sell crystals of some sort, they will sell something that they are calling citrine, but is not citrine. The reason that started happening is because they started over mining citrine, and so that made the prices of it start going up. So not only did it get a little more rare. I mean, it's still, it's not like a diamond or anything. You can find these online. But what they started doing is taking amethyst, which is like a purple kind of crystal, and they started they basically put the amethyst in ovens and heat it up really hot, so it turns it from purple to this kind of ugly brownish color, or yellowish, like a really dark yellowish color. They basically just destroyed amethyst is all they've done. But they jacked the price up on that. You might be able to get a little piece of amethyst for $3, but if you start calling it citrine, then you can sell it for $5, $6, or $7. So it's really important, number one, if you want to use citrine, because what citrine is, different stones correspond to different energies. Citrine corresponds to the Tippereth Center, solar energy, so it's all about victory and success and all of that sort of stuff, which is one of the reasons I like to use it. This is probably one of my favorite stones. Let's see, just seeing what you guys are asking real quick. Yeah, who was saying that? Hold on one second. Per Purple says, a loving, caring, and beautiful being I know who knows and runs a restaurant is into magic and making the best out of his path. You can tell when he's making the food because it has his energy in it. I read something one time, I can't remember exactly who it was, who had put this in their book, but they were talking about, like, whenever you're making food for your family, to always put energy into it, to always direct chi into it. Like, for example, it gives wait, what is someone saying? Oh, give me a minute. For example, when you're making bread, one of the reasons that hands are so utilized in any kind of energy healing tradition or anything else is because we have these energy centers in our hands, really big energy centers that are connected to our Tippereth Center. Well, like, for example, when you're kneading bread, if you have the dough on the counter and you're kneading the bread, you are directly pressing the energy centers in your hands into the bread. Crocheting blankets, that is a really good idea. Sunshine says, when I crochet blankets, I constantly weave love and protection into it. Exactly. Anything you do with your hands, you can be doing energy work while you're doing it and putting the energy into it. Now, one of the things about this is, in the beginning, this is a really simple, easy way to charge something, do magic, manifest something, but it's a very small amount of energy when you're doing this. It's not the same amount of energy as it would be when you're doing something like pentagram rituals or hexagram rituals and then circumambulating the temple and all that kind of stuff. You're putting hours and a lot of work and effort and physical movement and everything else into creating this energy that you're going to then direct into something. So you're talking about massive amounts of energy. When you're doing this, basically what we're going to do with the object, and we'll do some exercises to warm up first, just breathe into the Tippereth Center, radiate it out through our aura to get ready, basically warm up. What we're going to do then is take whatever we want to put energy into, and we're going to hold it between our hands. You're basically holding it between those energy centers in the palms of your hands. And we are going to direct energy. We're going to start inhaling it in and moving it down our arms and into the object. Now, the thing is, you can do it two ways. One is, if you already know what you want to charge the object for, then with every breath, you're going to be putting your intention into the object with the energy, with the chi. Every time you inhale, like, say, for example, if you have a ring, and you're going to charge this ring for protection. You already know this. You know what you want to choose this ring for. Then you'll hold the ring in between your hands, and as we go through the exercises, you're going to move chi while you're thinking, and that's all you have to do. That's what intention is. It's just the intent that you have, that you're programming the energy with. All you have to think, all you have to feel, all you have to know is, I'm charging this for protection. Now, one thing that will make that infinitely stronger is if you make yourself feel what you would feel if what you're charging an item for had already come to pass. This is what actually Jesus says again in the Gospel of Thomas, which was one of the books that, what's his name, Emperor Constantine, when he was putting the books of the Bible together, this was one of the Gospels that he left out. You guys are asking a lot of really great questions, but if I stop right now and start talking about these, I am going to forget where I'm going. So I'm just going to keep going with what we're doing for today, and maybe we will have time in a few minutes. But before I forget, I'm just reading your questions. Jesus says in the Gospel of Thomas, he says, whenever you ask for something, and I'm paraphrasing here, he says, whenever you ask for something, the way to get it is to feel as if it is already yours, as if it's already done, as if it's already accomplished. The reason that works, the reason that adds so much more power to anything you're doing, and what I mean by that, say for example, we're charging a ring for protection, and how would you feel if you were protected? You would feel safe. So think to yourself, how do I feel when I'm safe? What does safety feel like to me? And you're going to try to make yourself feel that feeling of what safety feels like to you as you're doing this work. The reason that makes it so much more powerful is because we are inside a quantum field. We are all inside what basically amounts to like a fish aquarium of energy. That's what the universe is, a fish aquarium full of chi. We are in it like fish are in an aquarium full of water. What we are communicating with this water, which is what the quantum field is, it's all around us and within us. We are communicating with it at all times. And one of the ways that we communicate with it is through feeling. The way that happens is because, like scientists realize, quantum physicists realize, that there are two electromagnetic fields generated by organs in the body. One is generated by the brain, and one is generated by the heart. The one generated by the heart is a lot stronger than the one generated by the brain, which is why the ancient Egyptians, they didn't pay too much attention to the brain during the embalming process, but they paid really close attention to what happened to the heart. The heart is the way that we communicate with the quantum field that we are in. When you make yourself feel as if whatever you are trying to accomplish has already come to pass, you are changing the electromagnetic field that is generated by your heart. That electromagnetic field also has a reflection on the physical level of reality. Not only are you releasing energy whenever you feel something, you're releasing an energy through your aura, you also are releasing chemicals, like whatever it is. It could be anything from, what's the chemical that gets released when you're scared? Adrenaline. It could be anything from adrenaline to endorphins to, all sorts of things that our bodies create. Someone asked something. Hold on one second. Let me see. One second, guys. Oh, there it is. How do you feel that without having? You know what you would feel. For example, just from a really materialistic standpoint, just nothing. Say you need a car, so you start doing magic to get a new car. how would you feel when you got a new car? Would you feel relieved because now you have a ride to work and you're not going to lose your job? Would you feel happy and excited that you have this new car? What is it that what is it you would feel if you had it? That's part of the reason that we want to manifest things a lot of times isn't even about the thing itself. It's the feelings and the emotions that we think we will have from that thing. Sometimes we do get those feelings and emotions, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just think we will. For example, say if you think that you're going to feel emotional fulfillment if you can get this car, chances are you're not going to feel very much emotional fulfillment once you get it. You're going to be excited for a little while, but if you have an emotional issue, as soon as the excitement wears off, that's still going to be there and you're still going to have to deal with it. But usually whenever we are doing magic to manifest something in some way, we're not even really doing it for the thing. We're doing it for the way we think the thing is going to make us feel. Whether it's peace of mind, whether it's happiness, whatever it is, whether it's safety. A lot of times, for example, with money, a lot of times the reason people want money isn't even because they really want money. They just want the sense of safety that money can provide them with. Sometimes they don't really want money. What they really want is the sense of success that they think money is going to make them feel. What they should probably be doing magic for is to feel that sense of success in their work. And then the money comes by itself. It happens automatically. Let me read your questions real quick. Yes, Denise says knowing what you really, really want is the key to magic. Absolutely. You can't manifest something that if you don't know what you want, then you can't focus on anything to manifest. That's part of what know thyself means. If you know yourself, you will know more and more what it is that you really want. And you'll be able to focus on manifesting those things. Just looking at your questions real quick. Toxic Twinkie, who said she is charging her glasses, said, I'm going to be charging my glasses for clarity and to help me further see what I cannot. That is perfect. Here's another good one. Also, Californology says, I prefer to introspect before I determine what I want to manifest magically to be sure my desire is in line with my will. Absolutely. I think it is of utmost importance to spend some time really thinking about what it is that you want to manifest, what it is that you really want. A lot of times, one of the reasons that we can feel like magic failed us, like magic didn't do something, you're wondering why didn't this work, is because a lot of people really don't have a solid intention for what they're even trying to manifest. So yes, absolutely. Take time and really think about, what do I want to manifest? And whatever it is you think you want to manifest, maybe even spend a little more time looking at that and thinking, well, why do I want to manifest this? And is manifesting this the best way to get me to what it is I'm wanting? Say, for example, if you're wanting happiness and you're focusing on money because you think money is going to bring me happiness, then maybe instead of doing it for that, start thinking about, well, what really, really makes me happy? And then focus on manifesting what it is that really makes you happy. I always say the example I give is if you have a bill that's overdue and needs to be paid, don't focus on doing magic for the money to pay the bill. Focus on the bill being paid, because there are a million different ways that bill could end up being paid without necessarily you getting the money and doing it. Say for example, the hospital that you owe this bill to calls one day and says, we forgive the debt of 2 people a year. We pick 2 people in the system at random and forgive their debt, so your bill is now stamped paid and you don't owe us any money. You never had the money, you never touched the money, but still the bill got paid, it got taken care of. That's what I mean about really think, what is it that I want? Like, don't focus on the middleman. I guess is what I'm saying. Focus on the end result, not the thing in the middle that you think will get you to the end result. Yes Biscuit said, to charge an item for someone else, do you think of that person when charging, or just think of the thing you want to manifest, then give the item to the person? Both or either. Both of those, I've done both of those and had success at both of them. But what I would suggest is try it and see, because it'll be different. You know, maybe one works better for you. Maybe one's stronger for you than the other. Try it both ways. See which works. Exactly, Zach. Let magic be the middleman. See which one works more powerfully for you. You know, that's what a lot of magic is. It's about trial and error. It's about, you know, figuring this stuff out. Because like with a question like that, you know, I can't tell you which one's going to be better for you. I can't tell you which one's going to be more powerful for you. That's a thing that you are going to have to learn for yourself. No one else will be able to tell you that. You know, I can tell you about my experiences and you know, maybe you'll get something from that to take away from it. But when it comes right down to it, only you are going to know which one is more powerful. Okay, guys. So, you want to get started? Yeah, Jenny Pendle says, how about charging a debit card with the intent of a steady and secure flow of income? I've actually done that before. I've also charged my wallet. You know, just, I think it's good to charge everything. You know, even a tube of chapstick. You know, you keep chapstick in your pocket or your purse or whatever it is when your lips get chapped. Put energy in that so that it helps more quickly, you know, adds energy to the healing process. This is one of the things Crowley taught. He came up with, in magic, what was called saying will. And it's like, you know, how Christians say grace. The point of it, like what they're supposed to be doing, you know, whenever they're praying over their food, is basically putting energy into it, invoking a blessing on it so that they then consume that blessing. Crowley came up with a magical equivalent of that, and he called it saying will. And part of, you know, the whole thing, it's done in two ways. You have the person who begins it and leads it, and you have like the people around the table who pick it up and respond. So for example, the way you would start, it would begin, the person who begins the process would knock 3 times, halt for a second, knock 5 times, halt for a second, knock 3 times. What that is, the first part is the 3 and 3 at the beginning and the end are the hexagram, the 3 points of the hexagram. The 5 in the middle are the 5 points of the pentagram. What you have just done is you've invoked the pentagram inside the hexagram, which represents the microcosm and the macrocosm, as above, so below. Then he would say, after that, you know, everybody comes to attention. He says, do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The people around the table respond with, what is thy will? He then responds by saying, to eat and drink. The people around the table respond by saying, to what purpose? He responds by saying, so that I may, I can't remember exactly the wording. It's been a long time since I've read this or done this. He says basically, so that I may fuel my body. They say, to what aim? He says, so that I may complete the great work within this lifetime. And then basically everybody falls to and starts eating. The whole point of this is to remind you that every single thing you do should be a movement towards completing the great work within this lifetime. Even eating your dinner, When you're eating your dinner, you should be doing magic. You should be putting energy in that with the intention, if no other. You know, you could do it for like health. You could do it for vitality, rejuvenation, heal my body. You could do it for bringing love to me. You know, you're basically eating food that's charged to do something. But the whole point of all of this is that we use every single aspect of our existence as a tool, as a vehicle to bring us closer to the completion of the great work. So yes, anything that you can think of, you know, from a debit card to your food to your clothes, you know, that's what you're basically doing whenever you have a robe. You're basically putting energy into it over and over and over. It's accumulating energy so that whenever you put it on, when you're getting ready to do magic, it adds its energy to the ritual. Yes, everything should be done with intention. That is absolutely true. You know, it's like if you don't have a destination, then you can't make progress. You have to know where you're going. You have to have a place you're focused on that you want to get to in order to make progress. Otherwise, we're just flailing around, which honestly is what most people are doing in the world. You know, when we're doing magic, our lives have a destination. We are focused on the completion of the great work within this lifetime. Most people's lives don't have a purpose. You know, that they're getting up and going to work every day, or, you know, getting married and having families, but they still feel this horrible sense of incompleteness. They're like, you know, there's just something's missing from my life. That's because they don't have a goal. They don't have a destination. Part of magic is, you know, it helps us to reach what we're supposed to be doing here. Anyway, so you guys want to get started with this? What I'm thinking is we'll just spend a couple of minutes warming up our... Oh, here's another thing about warming up. Not only are we going to inhale and you know, radiate the energy from the Tipperary Center out through our aura a few times. Yes, awakened grace. They have a void. That's exactly what it is. What's it called? What's his name? Graham Hancock. He wrote these books called like Magicians of the Gods, Fingerprints of the Gods, a bunch of other stuff. I can't even remember what all he's written, but he says that humanity is a species with amnesia, that we no longer remember where we came from and don't know where we're supposed to be going and have no idea how to get there. Magic is what reminds us of those things. But you know, every single time you take a drink of water, you can charge it with water, charge it with energy. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Okay, guys. Very good. Very good. Okay. So get whatever you're going to be charged. Oh, one other thing about, not only can you charge something right now, say for example, if you're charging a ring for protection, you don't necessarily have to know or you don't necessarily have to know right now what you're going to use the item for. You can use the item just to store energy, which is one of the reasons, the things that crystals are so good for. They hold energy better than almost anything else in the physical world, especially man-made items. But what you can do, if you don't know, like say for example, if you have a crystal, and what I'm going to do right now, I have charged this thing many, many, many times. Or actually, I guess technically what I'm doing is not charging, it's consecrating. Charging is when you do something with a specific intention. Consecrating is when you're just putting energy into it over and over and over. What that does is all of that energy will just sit in here. It accumulates over time. So basically this is a battery that you can then take, wrap in a black cloth, put it away until you need it. Whenever you do want to create a talisman for a specific purpose, you then get out the item that you've been charging over and over and over, and it's already packed full of energy. All you have to do then is put the intention in it. I keep stuff like that all the time. I keep vials of herbs, I keep stones, I keep coins, I keep all sorts of things that I have put tons and tons of energy into, and I keep them on standby so that whenever I do need to do really strong magic, but don't have time to do something, you know, a huge ritual, I can take out one of these things that I've spent months charging and in just a few seconds give it an intention, and then all of that energy will go towards manifesting that intention. So you don't have to know what you want to charge something for today. You can have an intention, or you can just charge the energy in it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to close this door real quick. Oh, okay. So the first thing we're going to do is just spend a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds getting centered. Get in your position for meditation. You can do, and once again, you can do this. You can do this laying down. You can do this standing up. You can do this sitting in a chair. You know, right now I am sitting in Seiza position. That's what they call it in Zen Buddhism, where you're basically on your knees with your butt on your heels. That's pretty much how I sit every time I'm talking to you guys, and it works just fine for me. So there's no, you know, you want to be able to do this anywhere at any time. So get used to doing it in a bunch of different positions. Close your eyes and let your attention go down to your chest. Like, see the golden sphere of energy about 6 inches in diameter right in the middle of your chest. See it as bright as the sun at noon. Let your consciousness, let your attention rest inside the sphere. You know, not like you're in your head looking down at it, but like your attention is inside it, like you're inside it. As we inhale, we're going to see ourselves pulling in what in Taoism is called qi. You can call it energy. In magic, it's usually referred to as astral light. Quantum physicists call it the quantum field. Whatever it is, you're drawing energy from that into you with every inhalation you take. You can visualize it as white light. Every time you inhale, you're pulling white light from the universe around you in through your nose and down into this golden sphere in the middle of your chest. We're going to do that a few times. So close your eyes. Let your attention rest in the gold sphere of energy in the middle of your chest. Inhale and see it glow brighter. Hold it. Exhale, the air goes out, but the energy stays in. Inhale again and see it glow even brighter. Hold. Exhale, the air goes out, but the energy stays in. Again, inhale and see it glow even brighter. Hold. And now when you exhale, see all of that energy that you've accumulated radiate out from that gold sphere, out through your entire body, and out through your aura. Try to feel it like lava or like warm water spreading out through your body and your aura. Now the next thing we're going to do is warm up or activate the energy centers in our hands. And this can be done in a lot of different ways. One of the easiest ways, and you'll see people doing this sometimes who do energy work, is just to start rubbing your palms together vigorously until you feel a sense of heat building between them. Heat is energy. When you feel heat building between your palms, that's energy building between your palms. Crowley at one point also said that any energy can be turned into any other. So whenever you're doing this, visualize the heat that you're building up going into your hands, and see your hands glowing, filled with light. The heat that you're accumulating is being turned into the light in your hands. Now focus back on the energy center in your chest. Inhale and see it glow bright gold. Hold it. And now as you exhale, see light from that gold energy center in your chest go down your right shoulder, down your right arm, and into the palm of your hand. See your hand glowing brilliantly gold, but see it connected almost like a tentacle. You now have a tentacle of gold light from the tip of rest center in your chest going down your arm and into the palm of your hand. And now we're going to do the same thing with our other hand. Focus on the gold center in your chest. Inhale. Hold. And now as you exhale, see another tentacle of golden light spill down your shoulder, down your arm, and into your left hand. See your left hand glowing brilliantly gold. What you're doing whenever you're doing this is you're connecting, you're reinforcing the connection. You're flooding the meridian that goes from your heart center to the palms of your hands. You're flooding it with chi, flooding it with energy. Now when we're charging the item, take the item in your hands, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do this. And again, you want to try both of these out. You know, we're only doing this for a few minutes today. Sometimes I do this for hours. This one crystal in my hand alone, I have probably spent, if you add up all the time together, probably a week straight putting energy into this thing, and I've been saving it for a very long time for whenever I need it. But hold the, whatever it is, ring, crystal, stone, between your hands, and cup it loosely. You don't want to grip it. You want to cup it loosely, like maybe your top hand isn't even quite touching. You know, you're just holding it in like a ball. Hold it between the palms of both of your hands, and you can do it, you know, you can turn them this way, you can turn them whichever way feels comfortable to you. But kind of clasp your hands with the item in between them. Focus back on the energy center in your chest. Inhale and see it glow as bright as you can make it glow. Hold. And now as you exhale, see gold light spill down both of your shoulders, both of your arms, out both of your palms, and into the item you're holding. See what you're holding glow as bright gold as you can possibly make it glow. If you have an intention, if you already know what you want, try to make yourself feel what it is that you would feel if what you're trying to manifest had already come to pass. And see even that feeling. See it embedded in the light as it moves down your hands, down your arms, and into the item. Focus back on the tip of rest center in your chest. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale, see the light spill down your arms, out your hands, and into the item you're holding. Focus back on your tip of rest center. This time, instead of inhaling once, we're going to inhale 3 times. And we're going to inhale and hold. And then whenever we exhale, the air is going to go out, but the energy is going to stay in. And then we're going to inhale again and draw in even more chi and hold. And then we're going to exhale, and the air is going to go out, but the energy is going to stay in. And then we're going to inhale again, one final time, 3 times. And after that 3rd time, whenever we exhale, we're going to let all of that light from all 3 inhalations go down our arms, out our hands, and into the item we're holding. So focus on the energy center in your chest. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale, the air goes out, but the energy stays in. Inhale and see it glow even brighter. Hold it. Exhale, the air goes out, but the energy stays in. Once more, inhale and see the energy center glow as bright as you can possibly make it glow. Hold it. And now exhale and see all of that energy you've accumulated spill down your arms, out your hands, and into your item. See it glowing as bright gold as you can possibly make it glow. This is one of those things, we're just doing it for a few seconds here. This is one of those things you can do for hours. And I just showed you right off the bat 2 different ways, like you can with every single breath. Inhale, pull the energy in. Exhale, let it spill down your arm, out your hand, and into the crystal. Or you can inhale several times, holding the energy for a few times, and then exhale and let it all at one time go down your arms, into your hand, out at your hands, and into the item you're holding. You want to experiment? For me personally, you should try it and see which way is going to work best for you. For me personally, I prefer to inhale several times, and sometimes I may do it even 10 times. I'll inhale 10 times. Inhale, hold the energy, exhale, inhale, hold the energy, exhale, and I'll do that 10 times. And then after the 10th time, whenever I exhale, I let all of the energy go down my arms, out of my hands, and into the crystal that I'm holding. Try it both ways, see which works best. But now we're going to do another way that you can do this. This is kind of a variation on a technique taught by Franz Bardon. Franz Bardon is one of the founding fathers of the modern day magic movement. He does not get nearly enough recognition or appreciation for rejuvenating interest in magic in the modern world, but he did a tremendous amount to further magic being introduced into the mainstream world. He wrote a book called Initiation into Hermetics. Franzbardon. Initiation into Hermetics it can sometimes be a little bit expensive because it can be hard to find. I'm not sure if it's in print right now or not. I found mine, luckily. I have a copy that I've had for a while. I found it at a secondhand magic shop in Tennessee, I believe. Look around for it and you should be able to find a copy. But one thing that he talked about is basically sending energy to different parts of your body. You can use this, for example, if you want to charge something or transfer energy to a person that... thank you, Paulina. Paulina says the PDF of Initiation into Hermetics is available online. I always forget about that stuff because I don't really do a lot of computer stuff. So I always forget about things like PDFs. When I think of books, I think of literal books. But yeah, however you can get it. Liesel says, I feel like I have trouble directing energy and that it all gushes around. That's why we practice this over and over, because nobody's going to be really great at this in the beginning. One thing you will notice you'll notice the more, if you do this for several weeks, if you do this every day for 3 weeks, you'll feel a kind of sensation that starts to develop, and you'll know when the energy is moved. But here's one thing, here's one thing, like the kind of the variation of the Franz Bardon technique. Put the item that we were just charging, in my case the crystal, put it on the ground, the floor, the table, the desk, whatever, right in front of you. Let it sit in front of you, and just focus on your right hand. Close your eyes and focus your attention on your right hand. Feel what it feels like. Just feel your right hand from the inside. Not the outside, but the inside of your hand. What you're feeling isn't really the inside of your physical hand. You're feeling the energy. You're feeling the astral element, the astral light inside your hand. What we're going to do is, just like we charge whatever we were just charging, we're going to just charge our hand. We're going to inhale light from the universe around us into the Tipperest center. And whenever we exhale, we're going to let it fill our hand up with gold light, so that you're holding this light in your hand. And again, inhale, hold, exhale, your hand glows even brighter. What you're doing is building up energy as much as you possibly can, so that you can release it all at one time. What I mean by that is, for example, when you have the item on the, say this is on the table in front of you, after you spend a couple of minutes building up the energy in your hand, you then put your hand on the item and let all of the energy that you're holding in your hand, that's accumulated in your hand, just spill out into the item all at once in a flash. You can do this, like, for example, if you want to bless a person and you don't know how they would feel about magic. When we talk about fanning the flames of others, for example, this is a way that you can pump a lot of energy into someone's chakras, start bringing them energetically up to a higher vibrational rate without, doing magic for any intention on them, just for their own good, whatever they need the energy for. You can do this, let that energy build up in your hand, and you just walk up, and when you're saying hello, you put your hand on the person's back. Hey, how you doing? Pat them on the back and let the energy just rush out all at one time. Yes, I don't want to mangle your name. Ruchika says this is like Reiki. That's all Reiki is. It's a Japanese form of this. That's all it is. Honestly, there also another thing. If you are into Reiki, there's a technique that is a variation on Reiki that my brain just went blank. Quantum touch. That's what I'm thinking of. When you're doing quantum touch, you know how in systems like Reiki, for the most part, it's a passive experience. You're putting your hands on someone and letting the energy just move through you. When you're doing quantum touch, you're using your Tipperest center like a bellows to push the energy. You're not just letting it passively flow through you. You're using your Tipperest center. You inhale, pull in massive amounts. Exhale, push out massive amounts. Inhale, pull in a massive amount. Exhale, push out a massive amount. So it's kind of, quantum touch is kind of like Reiki on steroids. Yeah, exactly. Who was that said that? Latera says, no need to touch with Reiki. You can even send it from a distance. Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things you also learn in magic. Like we go through phases, like, most people, whenever they start doing this, they need tools. They need like training wheels to help them get started. Hands are one of those things. Hands are one of the things that are like training wheels. You don't need your hands to do any of this. It's easier. In some ways, it's more powerful because you are using a physical element in addition to the energetic element, but you don't have to use your hands even. And I'll give you an example. Here's your homework. Remember a few weeks ago when I was talking about how In Taoism, evergreen trees represent immortality because the trees never lose their leaves. Even in the middle of winter, if there's snow on the ground, they're still green. So in Taoism, they symbolize, renewal, rejuvenation, immortality. And I talked about how people will actually do a kind of meditation where, like I said, one hand is receptive and one hand is projective, but you can really use both of them for either one. And I talked about how you put your hands, if you're outside and you see an evergreen tree, this is an ancient Taoist technique. You put your hands on the tree. Every time you inhale into your Tippereth center, instead of pulling energy from the universe around you, you pull it from the tree. You pull it from the evergreen tree up through your hands and into your Tippereth center. So every time you inhale, you're pulling energy from the tree and you're exhaling and letting it flow out through your aura, filling you, rejuvenating you, repairing damage to your aura, extending your lifespan, all of this sort of thing. You can do that without ever touching the tree. So this is your homework. If you've been doing this, I know some of you guys I've talked to about how you've been doing this, removing energy from the tree. Next time, instead of putting your hands on it, what you want to do, stand in front of the tree without touching it. Focus on your Tippereth center. You know just now how we inhaled into the Tippereth center and saw the tentacle of energy move down our arm and into our hand? Instead of doing that, you inhale into the Tippereth center and hold. Whenever you exhale, you see a cord. You see like a golden cord of energy extend as you exhale from your Tippereth center and extend to the tree, attached to the tree. So you are attached by an energy cord that you have formed out of chi from your Tippereth center to the tree. A cord running from you to it. You don't have to touch it at all. Now all you have to do is inhale and pull that energy from the tree through the cord and into your Tippereth center. As you exhale, let it spill out through you. You can do the same thing to send energy. Like, for example, you inhale into the Tippereth center, see the cord extend out and attach to another person. See it attached to their Tippereth center so that you have attached your heart to theirs. Inhale and pull in energy from the universe around you. Exhale through the cord and into them. Inhale and pull energy in from the universe around you. Exhale through the cord and attach it to them. You can do this same thing with even from a distance. For example, all you have to do is, here's one thing you'll notice. If you ever visualize, whenever you get really good at visualize, try to figure out where what you're visualizing is. When you're visualizing something, ask yourself, is it in my head? Because what I found for me personally is it doesn't seem like visualizations are in my head. It almost seems like they're slightly outwards in front of me. Like if I were trying to feel, where am I visualizing this? It doesn't feel like it's taking place in my head. It feels like it's taking place somewhere on like a screen on the astral level of reality. So think about a movie screen in your head. Whenever you see a screen that doesn't have anything on it, it's just that white movie screen. Think of the person that you want to send energy to standing in front of that movie screen. Keep your eyes closed, and you can do this in a bunch of different ways. One way is like I told you when we were doing the LVX, analysis of the keyword ritual. You just inhale and see the light at the top of the universe get brighter and brighter and brighter, and then you see it just blast down in a shaft of light and completely envelop the person standing in front of the movie screen. Or another variation, you inhale into your Tippereth center, see it glow bright. As you exhale, you see that cord extend from your Tippereth center out to the visualization of the person and attach to their Tippereth center. So that in your visualization, the person you're visualizing, you're attached to them heart to heart. You then inhale, hold, and when you exhale, see the light go through the cord and to them. You can either see it go directly into their Tippereth center and see their Tippereth center glowing as bright as you can possibly make it glow, or you see their aura fill up with gold light. And you can do that over and over and over. Yeah, Julie says, I've had a lot of trouble seeing and visualizing. I've started focusing on the feeling, temperature, or other senses. Absolutely. When we're talking about visualizing, we think it always means seeing because the root of the word visualize is visual, but for some people it's not seeing. Some people have entirely different ways of sensing that energy. For some people it's just like a feeling of pressure or just a knowing. Yes, someone says, is this what people mean when they say sending good vibes? Most of the time when people say that, they're not sending a damn thing. They're just saying that. If you are actually sending people good vibes, vibrations, vibrational frequencies, yes, this is exactly what you're doing. Inhaling and sending them that energy. That was a good question. All right, Cameron, I will talk to you later. Someone says, does this energy work compel the rest of the tree of life to activate? No, that's a very specific technique. In order to get the entire tree of life to activate, the first thing you have to do is the middle pillar exercise that activates the one in the middle. And then you go through the process of activating the other. So, for example, you have the Kether sphere at the crown of your head. You would then have Hakma and Bana on the sides of your head, going down the rest of the tree. You've got Nezak and Had at your hips, and you've got Hesed and Geburah at each shoulder. And you do it just like you do the middle pillar. Just visualize the sphere of light on that part of your body, and you inhale and inhale and inhale and see it glowing brighter and brighter and brighter until you do the whole tree, not just the middle pillar. The reason for doing that, again, is it is tons more powerful than doing just the middle pillar, because when you're doing the middle pillar, you're just using these energy centers. When you're doing the entire tree of life, you're bringing in double. Yes, Keith. Keith, that is a really good question. Keith says, could you invoke energies from other Sephiroth and send it through the cord to other people? Absolutely. The only thing you do differently is, one, intention. Like when we're doing what we're doing now, we're sending gold light, and that's just because we're focused on Tippereth. You can use, the point of using Tippereth is it connects, it's the balancing point of all the other spheres. The other spheres, it mediates and keeps balanced all the other spheres, all the other energy. They all flow down through there, or are all attached there. So, for example, if you want to send energy that corresponds to another sphere on the tree of life, whenever you inhale, you fill the gold center with light. You see it glow as bright gold as you can make it glow. But when you exhale, you don't see gold light spill down the tube. Like, say, for example, you want to send them okay, here's an example. If someone has cancer, they say you should never send them like earth energy. But earth energy is what you would normally send someone to heal them physically, because it like rejuvenates and replenishes the physical level of reality. But I've heard, I don't know that this is true, but I've heard you don't send earth energy to people with cancer, because you would also be empowering the cancer with this energy. What you would send them instead is the energy of Geburah, because the energy of Geburah, remember, it's red. It's about battle. It's about strife, aggression. That's what you're wanting to send at the cancer. You are wanting to attack the cancer. Geburah is the energy of attack. It's red. So you would inhale into the center of your chest, exhale red energy, let it come down your arm, out your hand, and into the person, or through the cord and into the person. Let me see. You guys are asking a lot of really great questions. Let me scroll back a little bit. Let me see. Jazz English says, I feel my visualizations might be too complex. While charging, are you simultaneously cycling energy in the spiral fountain style? No, you're doing just exactly what I said. You just inhale it in, exhale it out. Inhale it in, exhale it out. It's really simple and really easy. Another way that you might want to do it is instead of holding it in your hands like this, uh, if you're getting ready to charge something, this is a mudra. You know, we're used to things like, for example, this is the cosmic mudra, or this is the sword mudra. This is the triangle of manifestation mudra. So once again, you could, you know, whenever you're sending the energy, you put your hands, you lower your hands down over the item so that the item is in the triangle of manifestation. And then you inhale, let it flow down your hands and into the item. The other thing, the Franz Bardon way, and I'm running really long, and I see a lot of you guys are having to drop off, so I'm going to stop for now, and we're going to pick this up later. We're going to practice a lot more of this kind of thing to get to bigger and bigger ways of doing this. But the Franz Bardon way, focus on inhaling, exhaling, let the energy build up in your hand as much as you possibly can. See it glowing as bright as you can. And then just slap your hand down on the item and let it all flood out at one time. Try that. That's your homework. In addition to focusing on the Tipperest Center. And like a tree, you can attach it to a crystal, pull it in. Let me see, just reading you guys' questions real quick. Thank you guys. You guys are really great. And again, I'm sorry for running long. We will pick this up again in a day or two. I really appreciate you guys doing this, being here with me. And we are going to gradually build up and do more and more amazing things as time goes by. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being with me all this time. Y'all have a good night.